Paul Lee is coming up next, and he's going to try to get back into the field. Let's go to Gary.
With Dan Wilkerson, you grow up in a drag racing family. You watch your dad, Tim, consistently. You dream about getting into the seat. You're there now. You're in this field. How much fun you having?
I'll tell you what, I'm having a blast. That first run today, the thing busted a belt. And then just there, I got down there to 800 feet, and I shut it off because it was getting just ever so slightly squirrely. So between me and this car, we don't want to go past 800 feet today, I guess. But we're having a blast. We're running the dog crap out of it. And for Summit Motorsports equipment, they're getting us all kinds of good parts. So we're tuning her up. We're going to go kick some butt tomorrow.
All right, thanks.
Thank you, buddy.
And here comes Paul Lee, not in the qualified field, and Mike Neff, who made a last-minute adjustment by adding some alcohol to the tank. Meanwhile, back at the starting line, you're looking at Johnny West. It's Brian Thiel's crew chief. He represents the bump spot. Remember all the problems they've had with the big fire. They lost a body, and this is a team that does not have a big budget. That would like to be a part of the field tomorrow just to collect that first-round money. If they don't get into the show, Mike, what do they get for it? Nothing.
Not a whole lot, yeah.
Yep, it's a big for this team.
And it's all down to this run. It's either going to be Paul Lee or Brian Thiel going home tomorrow.
With an 8, he is in. Brian Thiel is out. How about Mike Neff, though? Number 1 with a 4:08. Gary Gerald.
Well, Brian Thiel is on the other spectrum of those emotions. How tough is this to handle after all, virtually an overnighter?
Well, it's happening way too much for us, but we just keep our heads up, keep plugging along. You know, this team worked real hard all night up to 5 o'clock this morning. We gave it our all. We got down the track. This Bristol track's unbelievable. These fans are some of the best fans I've ever been around, and yeah, it's a bummer, but what do we do?
He ran a 4:29. It wasn't good enough. He said in the seat it felt like a 19. That's what they were shooting for, and oh my, if it had only been a 19.
Watch Mike Neff in that left-hand lane. This was a pretty perfect run. Didn't have the really great numbers early, but boy, 265 miles per hour in the 8th mile. He was making up for it right through there. And 4:08 caps it off and into the number 1 spot, at least for now.
And his objective, of course, was to get away from racing John Force's teammate. Stat guy.
He certainly did that for now. One thing about Mike Neff, he leads the points. He's been winning races, but he's not had a number 1 qualifying effort this season or had low ET of any event. And I find that very surprising.
Gary Gerald.
With these improved conditions, what were you targeting?
About that, the conditions are prime right now. That rain, and now it's cooled off. The track's best it's been all weekend. So yeah, that's about what we were shooting for. We needed to get away from my teammates in the early rounds. So I'm not sure that'll hold up, but that's a good run for the old Ford Castrol machine over there, and I'm happy for my team.
New standard for the rest of these guys to shoot for right now.
Yeah, a whole new benchmark, and as he said, there's some pretty stout guys yet to come. Team Force this year in funny car. Here are the numbers. The one that stands out for me is that 0 in the John Force column.
Yeah, Mike Neff, Robert Hyde been holding up their end of the bargain. John's really been struggling, but we don't expect that to last much longer.